Tonight, I'm going to share 3 horrifying stories about true crime, cults, and the dark web. These 3 horrifying true crime stories were submitted anonymously using fake full names, which means any of them could be true, some could be false. It's up for you to decide, research, judgments. Either way, they're written to give you chills, suspense, and that uneasy feeling. Turn down the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. My name is Anthony Martinez. I live in Cedar Grove, Ohio. I'm 22 and work as a delivery driver for a small industrial supply company. Life is usually quiet, routine, boring even. But that day was different. It started like any other. I woke at 6:30, brewed my coffee, grabbed a granola bar, and checked the schedule. My boss, a man who rarely raised his voice, called me into the office. "Anthony, you're delivering to the old red warehouse tonight," he said. His tone wasn't casual. There was a pause before he added, "It's quiet over there. Don't linger." I nodded, brushing it off. Deliveries were deliveries. But as I drove past town toward the outskirts, the unease crept in. The red warehouse sat behind a rusted chain-link fence. Windows boarded up. A faint orange glow leaked from one corner. Broken boards rattled in the wind. I slowed. Something about the building was off. I parked in front, grabbed my paperwork, and stepped out. The air was metallic and damp. The wind pushed against the walls like it wanted to sweep me inside. A distant scraping sound echoed, metal against metal, but the lot was empty. I chalked it up to imagination. Inside, darkness swallowed me. My flashlight barely cut through the black. Piles of scrap, discarded machinery, broken crates everywhere. And then, I saw them. 12 people, standing in a circle, blindfolded, hand-bound, alive, motionless, waiting. A whisper slid across the warehouse like smoke. "Don't disturb them." My heart froze. From deeper shadows, a man emerged, mid-40s, tall, his red jacket gleaming in the dim light. Clipboard in hand. "You weren't supposed to be here," he said, calm, almost kind, predator-like. I tried to move, but my legs locked. "Come with me. I'll sign your paperwork," he added. I ran. Every step echoed. I stumbled over metal cables, crates, and the flashlight skittered across the floor. Shadows danced. Shapes shifted in ways that didn't make sense. "Hey," he shouted. Calm, deliberate, terrifying. I dove behind a pile of scrap, breath ragged, heart hammering. I could feel the blindfolded people watching me, waiting, patient. After what felt like hours, I found a side door. Locked. I forced it open. Rain hit me, cold and stinging. I didn't look back. Weeks later, I still hear whispers when the wind hits the warehouse. My dreams are haunted by dark, blindfolded faces circling me, whispering my name, waiting. And I know they're still out there. My name is Sarah Williams. I live in Westfield, Massachusetts. I'm 21, a college student, and most of my life is spent between lectures, the library, and late nights scrolling through forums about coding and technology. I never imagined something so ordinary, posting a question online, could turn my life into a nightmare. It started with a simple question on a small, private programming forum. I was looking for advice on debugging a script, nothing unusual. But within minutes, someone replied. Just one word, Gray Harvest. No profile picture, no description, nothing, just that name. I thanked them and logged off, assuming it was just a helpful stranger. But the next day, a message appeared in my inbox. You type fast, I like that. I frowned. Strange, but maybe just a coincidence. I ignored it. Then came the small observations. Your dorm room looks quiet. Good environment to code. I froze. I hadn't shared any pictures. Not a single one. Your blinds are open. I stare at my windows. They were. I close them quickly, heart racing. How do you know where I live? I type back. No reply for a few minutes. Then, your blinds are open. Panic set in. Over the next weeks, the messages escalated. They sent screenshots of me sitting in the library, walking to class, eating breakfast. I began noticing small things I'd ignored before. A shadow in the hallway that seemed to linger longer than it should. A figure walking behind me at night, always just out of clear sight. I told a friend. She brushed it off, but even she admitted she'd seen a man standing across campus once, staring. Coincidence, she said, but I didn't believe her. I moved campuses, changed my phone, deleted accounts. I tried to start fresh, but gray harvest didn't stop. One evening, I was in my dorm room, reading when my laptop pinged. I froze. It wasn't my account. A forgotten forum. The screen lit up. I see you. Always. My fingers trembled as I closed the laptop. The shadows in my room seemed to stretch toward me. Every floorboard creak, every gust of wind against the window felt deliberate, as if someone was right outside, watching. I started sleeping with the lights on. Every night, the fear followed me to the edge of sleep. In my dreams, a faceless figure stood in the corner, leaning closer each night, whispering my routines back to me. I changed apartments, tried to avoid predictable routines, but even in a new city, I could feel the presence, the awareness of someone following my every move. Then one night, on an old, forgotten account I hadn't touched in months, a new message appeared. Just one line. I'm closer than you think. And I know, when I wake up tomorrow, they will be watching. My name is Daniel Thompson. I live just outside Millstone, Oregon. I was 19 when I took a night security job at the abandoned quarry. I was desperate for money. My parents had been struggling. I had debts piling up, and no one else would hire me for night shifts. I didn't care about the warnings my friends gave me. It's old, one said. Creepy. They say people have disappeared there. I laughed it off. Just stories. Tales for teenagers to scare each other. I needed the money. The quarry itself was enormous. A sprawling pit of jagged rocks, rusted machinery, and cracked concrete roads winding down to depths that swallowed the moonlight. The office for the night guard was a small, creaking shack with a single flickering light. My job was simple: patrol the perimeter, report trespassers, and keep the area secure. Easy money for 8 hours. The first few nights were quiet. Too quiet. The wind whistled through the metal scraps and abandoned equipment, carrying noises that didn't belong, soft whispers, dragging sounds, like something was moving just out of sight. I told myself it was the wind, my imagination. I kept my flashlight close and my phone even closer. Then, one night, I shouldn't have been there. It was just past 2 a.m. I was making my rounds near the old loading dock when headlights appeared in the distance. 2 cargo vans, old and battered, rolling slowly through the gate. My stomach dropped. Nobody was supposed to be here. Nobody. 3 men climbed out of the first van. Hoodies, gloves, faces hidden in the shadows. One of them opened the second van and dragged a young man out. Hands and feet bound, duct tape over his mouth, a bag over his head. I froze behind a generator. My flashlight had slipped from my pocket earlier, and I barely breathed. They moved him to the edge of the cliff, overlooking the quarry pit. I could see him struggle against their grip, muffled screams slicing through the night, echoing against the rocks. Then silence. One of the men turned, slowly, deliberately, and stared in my direction. My chest locked. My limbs refused to move. I watched petrified as they left. The vans roared away into the darkness. The next morning, I found an envelope slipped under the shack's door. Inside, a photo. Me, hiding behind the generator. Taken from the exact angle I had been crouching in the dark. I moved towns immediately, changed my phone number, and avoided driving near abandoned industrial sites. But the fear didn't leave. Every car that slowed near me, every shadow crossing my apartment window, every whisper of the wind against my walls made me shiver. Months later, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. A single message. "You saw too much. We're coming for you." I've never been able to shake it. Sleep is impossible. Nights are spent listening for vans, footsteps, whispers. I can feel them outside, just beyond the walls. Always watching, always waiting. And I know I'll never be safe again. Three ordinary people, each going about their lives, thinking the world was safe, until it wasn't. Anthony, Sarah, Daniel, strangers to each other, yet all marked by the same thing. The invisible eyes that watch, the shadows that move when you're not looking, the whispers that follow long after the night has ended. These aren't monsters from stories. These are real people, real situations, and real terror that can creep into your life without warning. Every unnoticed car, every quiet knock, every message you think is harmless, it could be someone keeping track, waiting, learning your routines, your fears, your habits, until the moment you least expect it. So tonight, as you lie in bed, think about the things you ignore, the shadows in the corners of your room, the wind scraping across the windows, the feeling that someone might already be watching. Sleep lightly, because some stories don't end when the night is over, and some dangers never leave. They're always out there, and sometimes they are closer than you think.